Just by chance, we kicked off spring break here at my cabin. And then the lockdown order came on March 13th,
Yeah.
2020, right? I had only packed 4 days of underwear, for God's sake. And I ended up staying for 7 months. Uh,
Wow. You celebrated a big birthday this year. So how did that go?
I never dreamt I'd hit the age of 85, but now that there's been such a good response, I'm thinking, gee, maybe I'll aim for 90 now. What the heck?
Yes. My daughter and I have actually started to say anytime there's like an opportunity for us to take care of our planet, we always say, what would David Suzuki say? Or what would David Suzuki do? How rewarding is it for you to hear that and to see the work that you have done didn't just stop with you? It is continuing on through so many different generations.
It's very gratifying that more and more people, of course, are concerned. The part that I find at this stage in my life, whatever happens in the next few years is going to have little consequence for me. But for the young people coming up, it's a very, very urgent time. And
Yeah.
as you know, before the COVID lockdown, we had millions of young people marching, led by Greta Thunberg from
Mhm.
Sweden, saying, look, we listen to the scientists. We're taught at school to take science seriously. And scientists are saying, I don't have a future. It's really urgent now that any parent has to be a warrior on behalf of their
Mhm.
children or their grandchildren. So I
Yeah.
told Greta, make the call to parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts. They've got to now become outspoken fighters for the future. And
Yeah.
that's the big challenge. It's not going to be easy.
Everything that's happened, like the politics to the pandemic. I'm just so curious to know what is your take on everything that is happening right now?
COVID was, in many ways, I think, a gift because, for one thing, it meant that we had to sit down and stop being so frantic about everything. And I have to tell you that we didn't have to look up in the sky and see airplanes all over. It was quiet. There wasn't
Yes.
traffic on the road. And guess what? I could now hear birds and insects,
Hmm. Yes.
and I can now look out, right? I'm still here at my cabin. I can look out and see mountains that before we couldn't see because there was always a
Wow.
bit of a haze, right? So
Yeah.
it gave everybody locking down, gave nature a bit of a break. But for
Hmm.
me, it was incredible because I had a job, I had a role. I was grandpa. And because I'm an early morning guy, I had the
Yeah.
morning shift. Every day, rain or shine, we went outside looking,
I
right?
love
And,
that.
at my age, I have seen so much of the world being destroyed, the forest going and the pollution and all that. But those
Hmm.
kids don't know about any of that. So
Mm-mm.
every day as we went out, I got to see the world the way they did as children. The world is still a wonderful place. And it
It
made me
is.
feel even stronger. Damn it all, I may be close to the end of my life, but I'm going to spend every minute I can fighting so that we protect whatever we can for our children and grandchildren.
One of the things that we've seen recently is asking people to come together and really, really stand together with our fellow Asian community and our brothers and sisters. The whole anti Asian racism that we're seeing right now. How do you think that we can continue to be better allies and how much we need to continue really standing with our brothers and sisters in with this issue?
Racists are ignorant, frightened people. And what they do is they get an excuse to express it. So when you have a president of the United States talking about the China virus and Kung flu and all of that, those are
Yeah.
dog whistle signals for the racists to come out and they just use it.
Yeah.
They're all out there. And I, as a third generation Japanese Canadian, I know when my grandparents arrived and my parents were born in Canada, they lived with racism all the time. You just need an excuse. For my family, it was Pearl Harbor in 1941. All of the racism came out that even though we were born and raised in Canada, we were
Yeah.
considered the enemy and it all came out. You think about the indigenous people who've lived with this ever since the arrival of Europeans in this country.
Yeah.
So, what I say is The spike in anti-Asian incidents is simply the expression of the racism that's there. And we have to,
Mm.
all of us who believe in a different kind of Canada, in a country that is fair and just and equitable, every time a racist incident happens, whether it's against Asians, whether it's against blacks or Jews or gays or whatever or Muslims, whatever it is, we have to stand up and say, this is intolerable. That's not what we
Mhm.
stand for.
You have given us so much. What can we do for you? What is the message that you have that you would want people to join hands on and come together and support you in?
The most important thing we have to do is to get involved, really actively involved in the political process, to tell any politician, doesn't matter what party, what is your position on a future for my child? What are you doing about climate change? What are you doing about species extinction? What are you doing about toxic pollution? What are you doing about plastics in the ocean? If we can get all of the parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts to say it's about our children's future and you've got to act on it, I think we can make
Absolutely.
a big difference.